Well, I've been working on setting up a hydro generation system, and I went and got an inverter because, you know, it helps when the power goes out and stuff. Well, not this one. So this shock flow, I guess that's supposed to mean that when you plug an air conditioner into one of these on here, that's going to, you know, a flow of shock or something, because this thing just sprayed a bunch of sparks out the back of it. I had a 5 amp window air conditioner plugged into that, and a 1000 amp out and a 1000 amp battery. And it's just a regular starting battery, not, you know, deep cell or nothing, so don't get crazy on me here. But anyway, so this perverter is supposed to be 2000 watts, so not even half of that to run the air conditioner. It's dead as a doornail now. When we plug it up, it just beeps, and it will give the battery voltage, but it smells like cancer. And yeah, I got this off the Amazon, and guess what else they did? They just put it in this crappy box. It's crap, and the wires, like everybody else said, and they're just copper covered aluminum. They're not real copper wires. I hope you don't try and run 200 amps through the wire they give you with this thing. But you know, I didn't buy it for the accessories. I bought it because it had a big old $45 coupon off on it, so it made it like $120 some. But don't buy this. Don't buy this. It's garbage. It's garbage. I tested it with a heater, and it worked fine. And then the electric genuinely went out, and brought a battery and that into my room. It's like, well, at least we're gonna have some air conditioning. Nah, just made the room smell like cancer, that's all. So this thing couldn't even make it a couple of months like most. It made it through a 1 minute test, maybe, if that. Off the Scamazon, I bought this shock flow 2000 watt pure sine inverter, and it managed to run a window air conditioner for like 3 to 5 minutes. And then later, the 3 to 5 minute thing was just a test. And then later, I actually needed the thing when my power went out. Went and plugged it in, turned it on, plugged my air conditioner into one of them outlets, and just started spraying sparks out the back. Now, I don't see any real damage to the board here. We're gonna have to fix that, because it's got to go back to Amazon. But before I do that, I always wanted to try something stupid like this. So I guess you could imagine what this 3-wired cord's for. Yeah. We're going to plug it into a 20 amp outlet. Record what happens. I do not recommend one of these. I got this thing for like 45 bucks off, and it, I don't know, brought it down to $168 or something like that after tax. I can't say I recommend it. Look at these tiny 14 gauge wires that they got that power the outlets out here. That's about 20 amps worth at 2000 watts. And look, it says right there, it's got 14 gauge wire. And you know that that's that copper coated aluminum stuff, the CCA stuff. Tiny puny wires for that. And it's got 5 50 amp fuses in the back of this thing. There's little small automotive fuses. So place your bets what's going to blow up on this. This, or I'm going to burn the coil out. We're going to see some capacitors blow up, or what. This one thankfully has a good old-fashioned power switch, so we're just going to turn it on and leave it there. Another thing I didn't like about this is there is no chassis ground. Of course you can use a self-tapper and make a half ground yourself, but they didn't even bother to bond any of the grounds on there. The grounds aren't connected to anything. It's just garbage. Then when you've got all these fuses out here, can somebody answer me why they've got fuses down in there between the coils and there's glue on them? It's like 4 of the red ones. I don't remember what the red ones were for, but it looks like it would be going from the power lead that comes straight from the fuse block over here for those coils. Looks like probably 2 per coil. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't know if you could see anything or not, but that's all that's going to happen is we kept blowing breakers. I guess, for the interest of fun, I guess I could hook it into the output, but I'd reckon there's diodes that's going to stop it from traveling backwards, but let's try that. Alright, so I don't know which way you all would have me do it, but let's just do it right, okay? If we're going to do it wrong, let's do it right. So we'll stick the ground wire into the ground, or, well, that's not the ground, I'm sorry, the neutralis. And then I'm not going to let myself touch the conductor of that, because, oh, that's okay, because there's nothing coming through it anyway, so we'll just stick it on in there and quit being a baby. Safety Sally ain't on duty today, guys. So anyway, come on, everybody get up. Alright, so I at least got to give y'all a show. So that's what happens if you backfeed 120 volts into your inverter. I can't actually see any immediate damage, but you know it's there. You had to have seen it. Sadly, because I was working the breaker box, I missed it because about twice or so it kept popping the breaker and I just kept resetting it, and finally I got what I was bargaining for. Okay, we'll hook up the other one and see what happens now.
Yeah.
And here's this other inverter. I've killed it too. I already got it apart too. Kids pointed out right away it's got bigger capacitors than this thing. This one is a 1500 watt. Yeah, it's also a pure sine wave as well. The wires are even smaller on this one. It looks like 16 gauge for the wires that connect up the outlets there. And an even smaller wire for the ground, but it does have a ground. And it also had a grounding lug on the case too, which also is connected to a wire that grounds to the board. Then again, this one here has some internal 40 amp fuses. Why are the fuses on the inside of this? Why? So, let's get to blowing it up. Do it again. Do it again. Alright, quit. Turn it off. Let's switch it off. Okay, so I forgot to say at the first of this thing, I figured I would do it backwards from the other time, and I hooked the hot into the ground. That's me. I hooked the hot into the ground and the neutral. I hooked the neutral from the mains AC into the hot input on this, and then on the negative input on this I put the positive mains voltage on it, and that didn't seem to do anything. So we're going to flip it around the other way. Alright, go ahead, tickle it again. Yeah, do it like 4 more times. We'll make sure it's on no pause. It is blowing it, right?
Yeah.
Turn it off. Is it off?
Yeah.
Well, that didn't do anything. So let's try one more thing like we did the last time. So what do you think this time? We should reverse what we were doing the last time, you know, do hot to cold and cold to hot. Thought I heard a noise.
I thought I did too.
Hopefully that'll get it. Hang on. Go ahead.
Didn't blow.
Turn it off. We're not making contact. I'll tell you what. I'll make contact. Where'd my wire cutters go? Oh. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make contact real well. Alright, so what I've done here is I've just I cut the wires that feed that output panel there. You see I got black on black and white on black because apparently it's standard practice not to use different colored wires for the neutral and ground. Alright, load him up. Really? You not even blow it? I'll turn it off. It locks that. No, we don't want to do that. Alright. We'll wire it in the other way. Is this one not going to be fun at all?
You're doing your practice wiring things in batches.
Yeah. It's a unique experience.
I have an idea. Overload it with something.
Well, we'd have to get it to turn on. We got to hook it up to a battery and see if it works. If it'll turn on and beep at least after this. I'm kind of curious. I know the YouTubers probably are.
The other one actually fried.
Hang on. Go ahead. Yeah, is it still? It's not blowed. Just turn it off. Well, okay, so this one here says it refuses to be fried, and, well, I'm getting ready to haul it off, but we'll hook it up to a battery real quick and see what happens. Let's see what happens when I connect it to a battery. It didn't sound very happy. Oh, you gotta be kidding. It says it's on. Yeah, watch out, I'm gonna shorten him out. I guess I wish I hadn't cut those off now. That wasn't very much. But it didn't shut it off though, did it? I wish I hadn't cut those now.
No.
Wow.
Let's toast them.
That was the neutral. There's the hot. See if I got a meter. I mean, I guess now we're in a review instead of just destroying. Go ahead and turn him back on. That's hilarious. So here, I got an angle grinder, and I'm gonna try to gently connect it in here, and if I short it out, I don't guess it matters. But I want to see if I can get the angle grinder to fire. I think that's like 12 amps. Oh no, it's 7.5, not bad.
It wasn't bad.
Did you just hear this thing work?
Yeah.
I don't understand why it wouldn't work the other day, but I was using it for about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes when the electric went off, and I was just using a work computer and wasn't drawing more than 300 watts. I had a 400 watt inverter that took over after that, but I wasn't even running the air conditioner off of it, and it like 30-45 minutes, and it took a dump. It wasn't the battery voltage. I'd even brought a vehicle over and started charging on it and had it up to about 13 volts, and yeah, it wasn't doing that. I'm just kind of amazed that it worked after doing that to it, though. I'm still going to send it back after torturing it, because, I mean, nobody can expect it to last last like that, but, you know. The one thing I would say about this one here is these wires here are awful thin. I mean, that's like 16 gauge. That's too small for 15 amps of juice going through them. And well, it claims it bursts at 2,000 watts. Well, do your math. Okay, so I finally got my replacement inverter today. This is what you get in this. And by the but here's what came in the box. You get a tiny general instruction booklet. We'll go over that maybe another year. And here's the actual inverter. And here's them awesome cables that come with. No doubt that these are aluminum core and it's coated in copper. There's no way that you would ever want to run 150 amps through there, because at least we do know that this grounding lug right here actually attaches to the board and to the outlets, but what stinks about the whole thing is it's like an 18 gauge wire. And I also know that there's 16 gauge wires that connect that, because we've already pulled one apart. Thanks for watching my videos, and as always, praise the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. May He richly bless you and your families. Love y'all, and thanks for your time. Check out sharingthetruthandlove.com to read about Jesus Christ, and also to read the King James Bible. Learn all about salvation. Life's short, friends.